The following segment is sponsored by Smith Injury Law and 300hurt.com.
Over the last few weeks, we've been breaking down some of the information in the book, 10 Critical Mistakes to Avoid If You're Injured in a Car Wreck. Author of that book, Richard Smith of Smith Injury Law, is with us this morning. Hi, Richard.
Hello, Margaret.
Before we break down the final tips in this series for our viewers, tell us a little bit about yourself and your areas of practice.
Well, I've been practicing personal injury law for over 30 years. It's Smith Injury Law. I've got a partner, Scott Becky, who also practices with me. He's been practicing about 25 years. Licensed in North Carolina and South Carolina. We handle automobile accidents, workers' compensation claims, and Social Security disability claims as well.
All right, well, let's dive into the 10 critical mistakes to avoid if you're injured in a car wreck. Mistake number 8, in no particular order, is failing to pursue other types of cases that may arise out of the automobile accident. What happens there?
Well, there are several possible types of cases that you may be unaware of, and sometimes even lawyers make that mistake as well. If you're in an accident, let's say the accident involves your tire blowing out, either the defendant's or your tire blowing out, you may not realize you may have a products liability claim against the tire manufacturer for a tire blowout case. Also types of cases in which your vehicle is damaged much more severely than it should have been. Maybe you see a lot in a trucking accidents where the truck flips over and the top of the truck is smashed. It's not supposed to do that. So that's a crash worthiness case. And there's also other types of claims as well. One of the common ones is workers' comp claims. If you're on the job when you're in a car accident, even though it's somebody else's fault, you have a workers' comp claim and a third-party liability claim. And you have to handle them the right way, or you end up waiving one of those cases.
All right, so a lot of extra factors people might not always consider. Mistake number 9 is failing to negotiate down the medical bills and liens. This happens because people assume they don't have the leverage to negotiate, right?
That's true, and oftentimes that is true. I mean, that's why you have an attorney who does have the leverage. Most healthcare providers will not reduce significantly with individuals, and especially hospitals. They require payment in full, or they give you maybe a 10% cash discount. But oftentimes, especially in a case where you don't have a lot of insurance coverage and you have a lot of damages, the attorney can do a lot to negotiate those bills down to where you end up clearing more money than you would have had you simply tried to handle the case on your own.
All right. Mistake 10 in your book is choosing the wrong healthcare provider. What do people need to keep in mind when selecting a doctor?
Well, that's a very complicated area because most people don't know what their doctor's beliefs are when it comes to personal injury claims. Usually, a good doctor who treats the patient fairly will be helpful regardless. But sometimes you get situations where the doctor has a political opinion or they don't believe in personal injury claims, and they will actually write things in your records that hurt your case and not be very helpful. Also, you have some doctors who will overtreat patients and some will undertreat patients. So it's all about, it's basically a matter of opinion, but most PI attorneys like myself have worked with enough doctors in the area to know which doctors are better for these types of cases than others. And I've had some doctors simply not believe their client and damage their case. And obviously, that's a big issue. And we want to make sure that the doctor is on your side and supports you and takes your position. Because the worst thing you can have is your own doctor saying that don't believe your injuries are related to the accident or that you're exaggerating your pain or something like that. And a lot of times that's something that's very hard to really determine. It's oftentimes just the opinion of the doctor.
Well, a lot of pieces in that book that most people wouldn't think about. It's really easy to read. Anybody can request the book from you. The number is 300hurt for Smith Injury Law. That number on the screen now. Get in touch with Richard Smith by calling 300hurt or visit 300hurt.com. Richard Smith of Smith Injury Law, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Margaret.
Look forward to seeing you again soon.